my thoughts on tonight's episode of Arrow titled Brotherhood. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed this episode. Coming back from last week's terribly written episode focusing on, Felicity's bullshit. This episode had everything that I love about Arrow in it. I even like Felicity in it. Considering how much I hated how they used her character last week, I loved how they used her this week. Oh, okay, love's a strong word, but I enjoyed how they used her. And seeing the banter with Oliver and Diggle throughout the entire episode, and just seeing that there still is that brotherly bond between them, despite what happened earlier in the season. And more so far this season, while last season it was pretty obvious it was more of like Oliver and Felicity's season, or even more of like Felicity's season, this is starting to feel more along the lines of Diggle's season. Because Hive, obviously he was dealing with his brother and all that stuff going on. So we see more of Diggle's backstory here and there, knowing more and focusing more on Diggle as a character compared to how they've focused on him in the past. And yeah, I love this episode from start to finish. Yes, I could have done without a couple scenes here and there. Thea and her stupid romance. I know it's a CW, but I'm getting really tired of romances. But that aside, I really enjoyed the episode. I think this episode was directed by one of Arrow's stunt coordinators, and it shows because there's a lot of great fight scenes in this show, or in this episode in particular. Pretty much every single fight scene, I was impressed. And the more and more I was watching the show, I was like, Laurel's getting way better at fighting. I mean, yes, she's been out in the field for like months now, so I mean, it's nothing new to her, but I'm watching the show, I'm just like, you know what? Like, I believe it now. Like, even as much as I like Laurel as a character now, there's still times where, like, watching her fighting, I'm like, okay, come on. Like, it still doesn't feel 100% believable to me. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, you know what? I buy into it now. Like, she's had a lot of training. She's been pushing herself, as well as, trying to be there more as part of the team and being there for everyone in the team, not just be like a sideline character. And I'm liking how the character's being used so far, and how I'm loving her relationship with Diggle, because I feel like that's something that was never really explored in the show before this. And I love seeing the dynamic of the fact that they can relate between the Laurel situation with Sarah, with Diggle's situation with Andy. I mean, this show doesn't want to kill off anybody. I mean, the only people they've legit killed off so far are Oliver's parents and Tommy. And there's still a part of me that thinks that Tommy might still be alive, but I mean, I doubt he will, because the actor has his own show now. But that aside, again, just great things about this episode. Again, the action, I think it's the best action we've seen between all the fight sequences and everything. The best action we've seen all season. I love how there's that one part of the end fight scene. There was the middle fight scene where Diggle took one of Oliver's arrows and threw at the guy, and the guy just blew up. I thought that was really, really cool. And oddly enough, even though Ray wasn't utilized a lot in this episode, I made me realize I actually miss Ray as a character. I mean, I feel like for me, what made me not like him last year was the way they used him, and how he was just part of another love triangle between Oliver and Felicity and him. And how I just didn't like him and Felicity together at all. I liked him as a character, but I didn't like him with Felicity. And now that they're just friends and all that, I like what they do with the character. I really do. And I like how even he jumped into the help with the fight for a little bit. I mean, he was like, I'm all about feeling useful. I don't want to go back to feeling useless. I understand. I get where he's coming from. It was cool seeing him. Seeing Oliver, Diggle, Laurel, Thea. And it's 5 superheroes in one episode. I mean, come on, guys. That was a really geek out moment. That the end fight sequence. That was just, again, amazing choreography in this episode. By the way, I mean, considering the director of the episode is a stunt coordinator. Ray being included in the fight. Oliver standing up to Damien Dark out in the open now. I like see where that's heading, because even Damien Dark, he looks pissed. At the end of the episode, he looked freaking pissed. And I guess we'll see what happens with that guy. But I guess we won't see for a couple more weeks, because there's no Arrow next week, unfortunately. But when we come back, the 2-part Arrow and Flash crossover, which I'm really looking forward to. But to get into that, I'll get into that in another second. But again, no episode's perfect. I don't understand why Thea needs a sword. Why the hell does she need a sword if she's an archer? I understand she had her training with Merlin and stuff, but it's like that just gives her more reason to want to kill. Like, she has it on hand. Like, arrows aren't nearly as lethal as swords. Like, and she carries this sword into all the fights, and it's like that doesn't help your bloodlust. Maybe all of us should be like, hey, you don't need a sword. You have a problem right now because of the Lazarus Pit. You don't need the damn sword. So take the sword away. Problem solved. Obviously, problem not solved, but it helped. Like, that'll help. And also, going back to the positives, Thea not being affected by Damien Dark, and I want to know what's going on with that. Like, why isn't Thea affected? Is it because of the Lazarus Pit? And Damien knowing that Malcolm's Ra's al Ghul now? Like, I want to know how that goes. Like, I'm again, so many good things about the episode that the negatives, I'm just being nitpicky. They'll mostly revolve around Thea. But even then, like, I like Thea in this episode. Like, I honestly really did. Other than, like, her stupid romance with Oliver's political advisor or whatever. I'm just tired of CW romance. To be honest, I really don't care anymore. That kind of annoys me. Again, the whole sword thing. But other than that, it wasn't the best episode, but it was a really solid and enjoyable episode for me, considering how much I hated last week's episode, and I kind of want to wish that episode didn't happen. But again, overall, so many things to like about this episode from start to finish. If I didn't mention anything, you guys go ahead and listen in the comments below. So I think that's gonna be it for me, guys. So yeah, if you guys like what we see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I review Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow Monday through Wednesday every week. Next week there's gonna be a bit of an off week because there's the 2-week gap between episodes. But when we come back, I'll be doing the Arrow and Flash crossover, which I'm really looking forward to, and then I'll be reviewing Star Wars in about a month or so. And I might even review Hunger Games this weekend when it comes out. We'll see about that. And if you guys want to check out any more of my videos, are all up on my channel. I do comic movie reviews, trailer reviews, all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to go and check those out. So yeah, again, that's going to be it for me, guys. So until in 2 weeks from now, have a good one, guys.